Basic wilderness survival guidelines. With the reputation of camping, hiking, and trailing at an all-time high, there happens a terrific demand to know even the most simple of survival expertise prior to heading out in your next outside journey. Though most tourist destinations that incorporate campsites and hiking trails are marked to make sure that you simply remain on the best trail, you will find instances where you'll be able to stray in the marked path and turn into misplaced inside the wilderness. Nevertheless, realizing these fundamental wilderness survival guidelines can perform a massive role in no matter whether or not it is possible to endure in the outside till you will be found or have discovered your way back. The very first factor you need to perform prior to even leaving for your outside journey is usually to permit your buddies and loved ones know where you might be heading and when they ought to anticipate you back by. This can help out greatly in case you are stranded out in the center of know exactly where and naturally your rescue. Authorities can then be notified which you are missing and they are going to then scour the area where your last recognized whereabouts are and find you. This can also aid in the level of time you invest inside the wilderness before your rescue. So be sure that if you are going on an outdoor excursion that you allow someone know where you are heading and when you expect to be back again. An additional simple wilderness survival tip is to of course discover you shelter if you have identified yourself misplaced inside the woods. Make sure that you select a shelter that can protect you from climate along with other animals. Bear in mind which the temperature could be significantly changed among evening and day, so ensure that you will be choosing a shelter that may preserve your body temperature balanced and which you do not get also cold. You need to ensure which you possess a sort of roof or covering to ensure that if it rains you don't get damp. Mixing moist clothes and chilly temperatures only results in even worse life-threatening difficulties. Make sure that you receive familiar using the area of your campsite to ensure that if you enterprise off to find food and H2O you do not turn into much more misplaced and cannot find your campsite. This is a really important tip that everyone that plans to outlive in the outdoors should know. The next crucial tip to surviving the wilderness right after finding your campsite would be to get a fireplace going. A hearth is extremely essential to possess if you are missing outdoors. A hearth can allow you to in a lot of different ways, including assisting to preserve your warmth at evening, keeps animals from approaching your campsite, and can also act being an oven to cook food from. A fire can also be really crucial to possess due to the fact the smoke from the fireplace alarms rescuers and assists them to pinpoint exactly where your campsite is. You wish to ensure that your fireplace is constantly burning, and obtaining wood to maintain it going is an additional great suggestion when it comes to surviving within the wilderness. After you've found a campsite and produced a fireplace for the campsite, your next action is always to find meals and water. It really is constantly wise to carry a backpack anytime you go on an outdoor excursion and must have fundamental survival gear, some of which ought to be water, canned merchandise, a metal bowl, utensils, and needless to say a can opener. Even so, after you've got operate out of one's supplies in your survival backpack, you then want to find a clear supply of H2O, such as a running stream, and both hunt land animals or discover a great fishing spot to fish from. Maintaining yourself hydrated is very important, as well as eating food to offer you energy until your rescue. One in the most significant tips you'll want to make sure that you do when you get missing in the wilderness is to remain relaxed at all times. For numerous people they turn out to be angered or afraid once they understand they're misplaced, even so you need to remain tranquil because you'll need all the expertise and energy you have to place forth towards surviving the outdoors till you are both located or have identified your way back. Despite the fact that all of the suggestions are very fundamental survival guidelines, they may be really important in relation to really surviving in the outdoors for days on finish. So ensure the subsequent time you make a decision to go on an outside trip that you maintain these easy guidelines in thoughts and rely on them should you happen to get misplaced inside the outside.